26 dead and several children wounded in Texas church shooting. At least 26 people were shot and killed Sunday when a 26-year-old gunman dressed in black opened fire at a Baptist church in a small town near San Antonio, Texas. An additional 20 people were injured in the attack, which happened as a church service was underway at First Baptist Church in the town of Sutherland Springs, police said. Freeman Martin, regional director of the Texas Department of Public Service, said the suspect, dressed all in black and wearing a tactical vest, initially began firing outside the church at about 11:20 a.m., then entered the church and continued firing. A local citizen drew his own weapon and engaged the suspect, then pursued him by car into an adjacent county, where the suspect ran off the road and was later found dead in his vehicle, Martin said. At this time we don't know if it was a self-inflicted wound or if he was shot by our local resident, he said. The attack is the largest mass shooting ever to occur in Texas, and one of the deadliest shootings in modern American history. Local police declined to identify the suspect, but a Texas congressman and another law enforcement source identified him as Devin P. Kelly, 26, a resident of Comal County, Tex. The details of this horrific act are still under investigation, Texas Governor Greg Abbott said in a statement before he headed to join local, state and federal officials at the scene. I want to thank law enforcement for their response and ask that all Texans pray for the Sutherland Springs community during this time of mourning and loss. U.S. Representative Henry Cuellar, Democrat Texas, said the dead included a pregnant woman and children, based on the congressman's briefing with local law enforcement authorities. Both Cuellar and a law enforcement source identified Kelly as the gunman. He went there, he walked in, started shooting people and then took off in a vehicle to adjacent Guadalupe County, Cuellar said through his spokesman, Rafael Benavides. The dead included the daughter of the church's pastor, Frank Pomeroy, who was in Oklahoma when the shooting happened. Annabelle Renee Pomeroy was one very beautiful, special child, Pomeroy told ABC News, adding that the dead were all close friends of his. At least 10 victims, including 4 children, were being treated at the University Health System in nearby San Antonio, the hospital said in a tweet. 4 members of one family were injured. Joanne Ward and her 3 children were hurt, according to a family friend, Gracie Cruz, of nearby Stockfield, Texas, who was at the hospital with the family. Ward was unconscious when officials responded to the scene, and 2 of the children had to be flown by helicopter to a local hospital, Cruz said in a telephone interview. Cruz estimated the children were between the ages of 5 and 8, and said that Saturday was Ward and her husband's anniversary. We got a call once we heard everything that went down. We rushed to the hospital immediately, Cruz said. Other community members also hurried to help as news of the shooting spread by telephone, social media, everything, she said. The community really rushed out. 8 patients with gunshot wounds were taken to Connolly Memorial Medical Center in Floresville, according to spokeswoman Megan Posey. 4 of the 8 patients, including one in critical condition, were subsequently transferred to University Hospital, a major trauma center in San Antonio. 3 were discharged and 1 remained in stable condition. Sutherland Springs is about 35 miles southeast of San Antonio. It's a really sad deal, man. I can't describe it, Wilson County Commissioner Albert Gomez Jr. told CBS News, in a phone call from outside the church. He said the FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives were already on the scene assisting investigators. We've got them all here. Families gathered outside the church and held hands as they cried and waited for news about the injured and the dead. May God be with the people of Sutherland Springs, Texas, tweeted President Trump, who was in Asia this weekend. The FBI and law enforcement are on the scene. I am monitoring the situation from Japan. White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders told reporters that Trump had been briefed several times and was continuing to receive regular updates on the shooting. He spoke with Gov. Abbott earlier in the day, she said. Our thoughts and prayers are with all of the friends and families affected. May God comfort them all in this time of tragedy. House Speaker Paul D. Ryan, Republican Wisconsin, called the reports of the shooting devastating. The people of Sutherland Springs need our prayers right now, he said in a tweet. The small church located in a sparsely populated area of a town of fewer than 700 residents was known for its close sense of community. They posted their Sunday services regularly on YouTube, and last Sunday's was built around a chapter from the Book of Proverbs and the theme, "You don't need training wheels, you need Christ." The service consisted of songs backed by an electric guitar and bass, and a long sermon by Pastor Pomeroy. As the service began, congregants milled about, hugging one another and shaking hands. They were all white, a mix of ages, and it appeared clear they were close. As they greeted one another, the three-person band sang, "God is good, all the time, through the darkest night his light will shine. If you're walking through the valley, and there are shadows all around, do not fear, he will guide you, he will keep you safe and sound." The church is small, and on this Sunday, was dominated by Pomeroy's Harley-Davidson motorcycle, parked in front of the pulpit. Pomeroy explained that it was there to illustrate his sermon, which was about leaning into God the way a biker leans into a curve, trusting that he won't fall. Pomeroy described recent rides with his daughter, Annabelle, who is believed to have died in the subsequent shooting. "It's been neat lately, Annabelle's been wanting to ride with me, and going with me here and there," he said. He described going out for a ride that morning, when it was 34 degrees out. "She was a trooper, she did not complain, she rode, and we had a good time coming in, it was a beautiful ride. Yes, it was a little chilly, but the sun was just coming up as we were riding down County Road 467 and we saw the sun starting to break over. That is a beautiful time to be on a motorcycle, we had a good ride." Times staff writers Molly Hennessy-Fisk in Cairo, Mitchell Landsberg in Los Angeles and special correspondent Jenny Jarvie in Atlanta contributed to this report. Matt.Pierce@latams.com. Updates. 3:55 p.m., the story was updated with additional details of the incident, based on a police press conference. 3:40 p.m. the story was updated with an official death toll of 26. 3:15 p.m., the story was updated with the identification of the gunman. 2:35 p.m., the story was updated with an interview about several injuries in one family. 1:15 p.m., the story was updated with a county commissioner's report that more than 20 people are dead. 12:45 p.m., this story was updated throughout with staff reporting. 11:26 a.m., this story has been updated with a sheriff reporting multiple people were killed. This story originally published at 11:05 a.m.
Flexpress.com. Create video online.